Today's guest didn't just inherit a business, he inherited a street corner legacy, one that began with an immigrant hustle and now spans high fashion eyewear, cultural advocacy, and community revival. Ken Ma turned the heart town of Chinatown into a vision empire, literally and figuratively, while redefining what it means to scale with soul. So, welcome, Ken, to the show.
Hey, thank you, Ahmed. Thanks for inviting me.
Of course. Let's start with this incredible business that your family and you have. Let's start with a little bit more like the what is your first memory of Mott Street, and maybe not as a business, but as the place that shaped who you are today.
Yeah, this is basically my family business. I saw it growing up. I saw my dad come back from work, dressed up in a suit and tie with a little glasses lapel on. And every time we have this dress what you want to be when you grow up day at school, I was dressed up as my dad with a suit and tie with a little small eyeglass pin on. And my maybe earliest memory is just going to Chinese school, which is right near where Optical is, right across the street, Transfiguration Church in Chinatown, New York City, and just going into the store and seeing my dad work and just briefing and coaching and mentoring our staff there and trying to provide great customer service and great product for our community. As you know, our business is mostly based in Chinatown. We cater to the Asian diaspora in New York City. And from a small corner in Chinatown, Manhattan, we expanded to where our customers are, either in Queens, Forest Hills, Flushing, Brooklyn 8th Avenue, and our new stores in Staten Island. We really try to follow where our customers are because we know that Asians in particular, they have a particular fit for their eyewear, eyeglasses, and they also have very high prescriptions. So they need to have like a thinner lens for their prescription. So we are very specialized in that area. Plus, we have the language as well. So really want to help them. So earliest memory is seeing my father do that, help my staff, but also help the customers in those aspects.
What did those early lessons drive you towards the business, and what was it that drew you maybe away from those? As you said, maybe I should try something else. But what was the magnet that drew you back every time?
I mean, yeah, as I know, I went to Babson, also got my MBA at Stern. So my mom never really put any pressure on me to go back to the family business. It was really my decision to go back. It felt like an obligation, really. It's like all the time we had on the kitchen table conversations. We had, talk about business, talk about the troubles of business, talk about like how business is going up and down, all the employees or like sales going down or up and down. You know how business are. It's always up and down, and there's always problems that happen. So I always felt that I was giving such a great privilege and opportunity to go to great institutions and schools that I should bring some of that knowledge back to the family business and help my mom, help my sisters, help my brother-in-laws in this business. So it's really that it's a obligation I felt that I should give back to my family and also to my community. And I saw that it's a business. I remember also the lesson that my dad taught me is that I always went to Chinatown and always went to this toy store after Chinese school to get toys or magic cards, for example. And I asked my dad, why don't we like toy stores are great, card shops are great. Why don't we open a card shop or a toy store? He's like, eyeglasses, it requires a specific skill set because she's an optician, my sister's an optician, and it's more of a service, a customer service, where you have to have that conversation, you have to build that relationship with a customer. So it's a little bit of both building a relationship and also selling a product and service. So that's why it drew me back to it because it really combines a lot of people skills along with knowledge of product and services of how you become a professional in a specific field. So it's not just like retail selling stuff, inventory in, inventory out. It really requires an expertise and professionalism. So that really drew me to the business, plus an obligation to help out my family.
It's definitely you're an obstetrician, and the way you explain it is not about all. It's not about selling something and making money. It's really how to improve someone's life, and it's a very delicate purchase because you don't buy glasses every week. You probably keep it for a few years. So getting it right is so critical. And I really see that you say honor your family, go back and help, taking that on. Was there ever a tension between honoring tradition and then creating your own path?
Oh, yeah, of course. I think that right when it came back to the family business, it was around 2012, I believe, and Warby Parker just started. So I always try to adapt all the ideas of Warby Parker into our business. So there was always when I see them growing, I see them being very successful, getting VC funding, just opening stores, like making sure you're really able to sell glasses online. So I try to maybe follow them there, like try to cheapen our product. Usually we sell our products for 200, 300, $400 um, with insurance. But then because of Warren Parker, I said, oh, why can't we sell it for $100? But that wasn't our business. So it was a very long, I could say it took me like 3 to 5 years to really understand our business and what we did. We sell branded products, we sell the best brands in the world. We sell a lot of brands that we directly source from China, but we also have to maintain a price point and that can support our rent, our peoples, our doctors in our stores. We're not funded by private equity. We're not. We have to make profits every single month, every single quarter. We can't just be unprofitable for like 10 years straight. So it was a big lesson to see what new and shiny is out there, what I can adapt to the business, but also what I need to keep within the business, the same in the business, because not everyone can just rely on profit loss and VC money. We are a family business. We need to understand what we are doing. We need to sell a premium product and provide better service than just like fast fashion eyewear that what Warby Parker is doing. But for them, they did a really good website, do a lot of social media. They do a lot of D2C marketing. So we adapt some of that into our business, which was pretty successful. But we can't lower our price to what they are offering because it's just impossible to drive up the volume that they are driving up. So that was like a little bit of conflict between what we've been doing for 30 years with a you know, new kids on the block, innovative D2C concept that was disrupting the market, you could say. So we try to integrate the two in to create something that is successful now.
Interesting, because I think every generation comes with a case study of something that might be doing exponential growth, or the new, like you said, new kid on the block that does something completely different. But then when you try to replicate it, it really doesn't work.
Yeah.
And then honoring the tradition and going to knowing who you are, but then incorporating what you can is also a great story. What about approval? Because I come from a family business. I understand there's a big difference between working for someone else and then working for your own family. Was there a moment where you questioned whether you were building this for yourself or was it for family approval?
That's a very good question. I think it's a little bit both. Like I work with my sister. I always want to look for her for approval of things I do. I'm doing like the Evan Carmichael program because I want to build up a personal brand on YouTube. It was, she lets me do what she does, but if it's over budget or expensive cost, then she would come back to me. But yes, I think it's and for my mom, I always want. She's still involved with the business, but she's kind of semi-retired right now. She's in Florida, and a lot of the big questions like renewing the rent, hiring a doctor, we go through her, but generally the nitty gritty of the business is me and my sister decide on the nitty gritty along with my brother-in-law. And yes, I think my goal is to have my mom approve of what we're doing, trust what we're doing, and can comfortably retire in Florida. And she wants that too as well. So we're all on the same page on that, but it's the process and how we get there, little step at a time. Me, I'm in charge of inventory and buying frames. I make sure I'm getting the best price for the best frames, for the best value, and they could, give the best price to their customer as well, and the quality as well. So every decision I make, I think about it. Like I think whether or not this marketing plan would get the approval from my sister. What this frame that I buy is something that my mom would buy as well to really get the best value for our business and for our customers. So yeah, I think it's constantly I'm doing stuff to try to get approval from my family because I want them to trust me with big decisions, and it's incremental trust. You build trust based on each decision you make. It's always on my mind. It's like, is this going to be profitable for us? Get my mom faster and faster to retirement.
It's definitely a different game or a different expectation when you have your mom's retirement on the line, when you have your sister's approval on the line, and having that makes you more careful perhaps than just trying to appease a boss that you see 9 to 5. Here, it's like 24/7
Yeah.
and the most important people in your life. What did you learn about identity through the business that the classroom never taught you?
Interesting. That's a very interesting identity of the business. I think it is a lot of trial and error, and I think it is a lot of like knowing that the exact data, the exact numbers is not on a Harvard Business Review page. You have to look at the numbers and you have to question those numbers and you have to research double confirm whether those numbers are correct because data is always messy and it's not on your you know book or textbook. It's probably inaccurate and it's probably something you have to double verify. So I think that's something that I learned is that every time I review every invoice, every report, I have to keep on the back of my mind, is this matching the bank statement? Is this expense report matching what we actually put out? So I think that it is something that you have to be more careful for. In classrooms, you just read a book, read a textbook, read a Harvard Business Review, case study. Numbers are there. You assume those numbers are correct. But in the real life, it could be a little bit, it could be a little bit questionable or gray. There's some gray matter there, and also everything seems so easy in the case studies. Oh, the integration of this program to this program came easily, but a lot of different systems, a lot of IT systems, a lot of websites are talking differently languages. You have to figure out a way to connect the two. So that the operational and the details of it is very different from what we see in a classroom.
I agree with you. I think the classroom or a case study, everything is oversimplistic, and you take numbers, data as a given. Whereas on a business level, questioning that data is a great advice for anybody coming into business or starting their own business, saying like, hey, are we right here? Are we overestimating, underestimating? Errors happen, no system is perfect. So it's a great lesson. You mentioned at the beginning that Mott Optical Group wasn't was catered more for the Asian population, but so it's not just about glasses, it's about cultural belonging. It's making something that works intentionally for a group of people. Was that intentional from day one, or did the mission evolve over time?
I think it's because based on where we're located. I mean, we were in the back in the 70s, 80s, the biggest Chinatown in NYC and probably in NYC and probably in US. We were in the corner downtown Chinatown, and then we saw our customers just move to Flushing. We saw them move to Brooklyn. We saw them move to Staten Island. So we kind of followed them along, basically. So we knew we source glasses that fit their facial features. So we just want to leverage those expertise and just follow them along. So it's really an organic growth, I could say. We saw them moving out because they want to raise a family. It's more affordable in Staten Island, so we moved out there. We saw Chinatown grow exponentially in Flushing. We saw Chinatown grow really fast in Brooklyn, so we just followed them there. So I think it's because we just leverage our core strength. And we create our own line, Mountain Bayard Eyewear, that caters that clientele. We know that we can't, well, our product is best for them, so we just continue to leverage and reiterate what we do best.
Then follows you, or how do you measure success in a business where that community trust is it matters as much as the bottom line? Like you have to be there, but also they have to choose you as well.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, we have competitors as well, and they also cater to the Asian clientele. It's not only us. So there's a Coke and Pepsi in our industry as well. So there's another group of eyeglasses that also cater to the Asian clientele. So we battle to them. I think our differentiating factor is that we have our own brand of products and we source them directly from factories and we kind of pass those costs to the savings to our customers and we have a better fit for them. So we try to tell our customers that we are experts in that demographic, but we also have all the big brands also work with them to get their Asian fit over to our stores as well. And whenever I do a buying for all these vendors, I always ask them to look at the Asian fits first, and then once I finish with Asian fits, I then work on the other type of great products that they have. So yeah, I think it's a little bit of like following where customers are and where they're moving to. So yes, I think it's using what we did well before and then following where customers are going to. So if they're moving out to Long Island, if they're moving out to New Jersey, We probably open a store there. Right now, we have a website that sells to nationally, so we have our own brand marketed to neighborhoods that are maybe above average in Asian population.
So going back to, you mentioned there's a Coke and a Pepsi in this industry. So you operate in one of the most competitive markets in the world because glasses are sourced now online. You have competitors on the retail side. How do you decide when to stay grounded and when to take a risk?
Take ground. Um, hmm, I think doing business, and I think that all the investments I make, from marketing to buying a product, and it's always a risk. You never know whether or not this frame that I bought in is going to sell. We're always like making a bet basically. So I buy this product in, hopefully we make a X, 3X return. So these are all risks. And I think whenever we decide to make a big risk, is really depending on how strongly me, my sister, and my brother-in-law push for it. For our last opening was in Staten Island. It was, it was a little bit of a tension there. Like the old generation, for example, my parents' generation didn't really want us to open there. But me, my brother-in-law, and my sister really wanted to open in Staten Island. We saw the middle class Asian population moving out there, so we say that we need to be out there because it's like a new Chinatown there, a suburban Chinatown there. So we really just decided to forge ahead and really be able to open a store there, and it's growing exponentially in 2 years. Our next big project is Flushing, and we are taking a risk to renovate it, make it a really nice, grand optical shop, very luxurious optical shop, because we see that um, people who use insurances or just wants to pay bare bones, a few $100s here and there, is not a sustainable business for us. It's just doing insurance. The sustainable business for us is to market to more higher end customers. So we see that these trends are coming around because if you just use your insurance, you're just going to use the insurance once every 1, 2 years, once every 3 years, and it's not really sustainable for us. We want to target people who want like Cartier glasses, Chrome Hearts glasses, because we see that's a business that is much more sustainable and it's a growing market more so than that type of market because we already kind of saturate that market and already have that market already.
Sure. Walk us through a decision where perhaps data told you one thing, but then your instinct said another.
Data said one thing. I think it's one of our best-selling brands. It was called Icy Berlin. It's a German-made, stainless steel, very comfortable, very lightweight. It was one of our best-selling frames, you could say. It cost $600, and it just fits everyone like a glove, and just people continue to purchase it here, left it like a lot of times. Like they just no questions asked, pay for it. But last year, and maybe a year or so two ago, they got bought out, they changed vendors, they kind of severed the relationship. There was no customer service for them. I want to continue the business with them, but they weren't servicing us. There were no, we were a big customer for them. They weren't coming in to show us the product. They were not giving us discounts, very difficult to get return exchanges from them. And I decided to start exploring for other type of brands that similar to them. So it was a difficult decision because a lot of the managers and the store senior sales love this brand, and we still keep a small arm's length relationship with them. But I've started to develop other relationship with other brands that are similar. So it was a difficult decision because we weren't getting the service on the backside as a big of a customer we weren't getting the service that we deserved. So it was very hard to balance between what the customers want and what the service and the service that we need as a primary vendor of their product. So that was one of the pretty difficult decision to make. To really, it's a very easy decision to just continue on what works, and they were working really well for us. But because of the service level, we had to diversify.
That's a great story because I think a lot of people don't realize what happens in the back end. You can have a great product, but then there's problems in the back end, and it really severs success for you, and you have to pivot and find solutions. Let's go back to Chinatown. What does Chinatown mean to you today? Not just as a location, but maybe as legacy after more than 30 years being there.
I love that telling that story. I created the brand Mott and Baird eyewear, and and the tagline for that is the intersection of style and culture. It's Ma Street and Bayard Street. That's the center middle of Chinatown. That's where our store is. And I feel that a lot of things converge together. You have in the north is Soho, fashion capital of the world. In the south is Faidai. That's where Goldman Sachs has its headquarters. That's where Citibank has its headquarters. So we have Chinatown. I feel it's like a melting pot of both style in the north and practicality in the south. So what Chinatown means to me is that people come together, of course, because of our tradition of a Chinese Chinese neighborhood. We have the wonton noodles, we have the bubble tea, we have the hair salons, but people come together from the fashionistas to the practical financiers to really enjoy and have a meal together, get glasses, and just preserve that neighborhood where we just is a melting pot of culture there, from gangs of New York, the Five Points, battles, Irish, Italians. It's always a melting pot of people. So I think Chinatown means that for me, where everybody in the weekend can get together and have a meal together and see better, and see better with great glasses. So that's why that's what Chinatown means to me, and hopefully we could preserve it with a strong Chinese identity, because of the history it has there for a community where my grandma is here and I had a Chinese school here, so it's such a place that I really admire. But also it has that dynamism with Soho and Faidai.
For sure. If this business ended tomorrow, what would you like your kids or perhaps the community to say that you stood for?
I think we stood for giving back to the community. I think we stand for hiring in the community, helping everybody from the grandpas, grandmas with free insurance from the government to Cartier customers, that anyone who comes into our store can get help, either adjustments for the glasses, free adjustments, free eye exams if the insurance covers it, affordable eye exams if you can't, and just the best service and value that money can buy for our eyewear. We're honest and we want to educate. So that's what we want to leave, that this place not try to hard sell me. This place, I feel very comfortable coming into this place. It felt like home for me. I could be relaxed. It wasn't overwhelming. Get the best glasses, and by consulted by these salespeople who didn't feel like salespeople. They feel like family to me, because we feel that we extend our family values to our staff and they extend it to our customers. And it's always about building that relationship, education, instead of hard selling. So I want people to remember us by is that we don't hard sell. We don't try to push. We want to make you feel comfortable so you trust us in your vision care.
What's a future bet that you're making quietly, perhaps on yourself or your family or in the industry?
My future bet is trying to be a thought leader in eyewear. So I want to use Ma Street Optical, Chinatown Optical as like a platform. All the best brands come to me. I had to curate and vet a lot of vendors. Right before I had a meeting with you, I was vetting another vendor when we were speaking, before we spoke. And I just want to take that knowledge, that experience, and showcase it to the nation, basically. Be a thought leader and put that on YouTube, put that on Instagram, and people from all over the world can trust me as a thought leader in eyewear and eye care. I remember my old Facebook posts is that I wish I could talk on TED one day. But now I'm creating my own TED on YouTube, creating my own TED on Instagram about eye care and eyewear on the platform of Mott Street Optical and Chinatown Optical. So that's what I want to talk
I
about.
love it. I definitely think doing this is extremely rewarding, and you're gonna get to the TED Talk by having your own TED Talk.
Exactly.
It's part of the road and preparing yourself to that. And what do you think people need to know about eyewear that is so important for you to convey in your channel?
I think it's not just a functional area; it's a fashion item. It's part of your personality and part of your character. It's as important as clothing, as important as jewelry, important as watches. It's something that you want to be seen as someone with not just glasses, but with nice glasses. It really makes you feel confident, and it makes you look intellectual or stylish. It's really part of how you want to express yourself to the world. So that's why I want people to know you can't just come. You just don't want a pair of glasses that make people think you like a nerd or unsophisticated. I remember a very old stereotype of Asian males in particular is that they have really ugly glasses that always slide down your face, and they could never get the girl because they're such a nerds. So I want to change that stereotype for Asian and Asian Americans through sophisticated and nice looking glasses that make people respect you, basically. and know that you know someone fashionable, something that has some style sense.
Beautiful, beautiful. Definitely, definitely a lot. I can tell that your mission is very pure and very honorable because it's true. It's people stare at your face more than any other place of your body, and your eyes are your point of contact to your intellect. So if your glasses don't meet that, it's like a odd pairing. And I saw your advert, and I saw how you might find the right glasses that fit you, but they're not nice or they don't meet your style. So I think there's so much there that can be uncovered. I want to finish the podcast by asking you what version of success no longer serves you. You know how in perhaps when you were younger or you're in college and you say, I want to open 100 stores or I want to have $1 billion, whatever that version of success that you used to have no longer serves you as you've been in this industry for years and years.
Okay, I think I think the next step is just try to be the basically have my mom retire in terms of like, you know, she could comfortably leave the business to me and my sister to run. I think that's the goal, you could say, is that we can run these 9 stores without her input. We can, you know, open stores. We can, you know, spend on like renovations without her signing off. Approve these doctor contracts, these employment contracts, large employment contracts without her signing off. I think that's one of the success that we're looking for. And I think when I become a influencer in the field of eyewear, I think that's when I could feel that it's no longer like I feel like I had reached what I thought when I was a kid when you would talk about the question.
For sure. I agree with you. Things change, and it's a very powerful purpose to help your mom retire and have her relinquish the control or perhaps input that she has, and at the same time getting into a space where perhaps is open. So definitely gonna follow you and see where your career takes you. And I'm sure that with what you're putting out there, the effort that you're doing, and the knowledge that you have, you will get to impact so many people in how they choose their eyewear, how they fit, and they get more confidence from it. Ken, thank you again for coming. Where can people follow you? Where can they find you?
Yeah,
If someone wants to visit, how
exactly.
do they do?
I mean, I have a YouTube channel, Ken at Mott Optical Group, and then we have my Instagram, which is Mott Optical Group, and of course, my website is mottoptical.com. So if you want to find me, you can message me either on Instagram or on my YouTube channel, or you can send a message on the website. And of course, if you want to send me a personal email, it's kennethm at mkeyewear.com.
Wonderful, wonderful. I'm sure a lot of people will watch this and contact you before they choose their next classes because it's a big decision and you're the expert.
Sounds good. All right. I appreciate this opportunity to talk about my business and appreciate you interviewing.
Wonderful. Thank you. You're always welcome.
Okay, great. Okay, sounds good.